everyone. MSM and St. Mary's University, STMU, welcomes you to our Asian E-Summit 2020 Live. We're all going through the current situation of COVID-19 pandemic, and it has not been easy for all of us. However, we should not let it stop from enhancing our knowledge, improving our minds, and sharpening our skills and connecting with each other continuously virtually. I would like to thank you for taking time and being with us over here today. St. Mary's University is an innovative teaching and research university that provides affordable, accredited, and highly valued degrees in the liberal arts, sciences, and education. I am delighted and pleased to introduce today's facilitator, Director Student Affairs, St. Mary's University, and Ms. Kim Tam, Community Agent Officer, St. Mary's University. So what's the agenda for today? It's the webinar. Yes, you will be hearing a comprehensive presentation on St. Mary's University by Pablo and Kim. Before I hand over the mic to Pablo and Kim, I will run through the housekeeping requirements that are needed for today's presentation and the go-to webinar. There are multiple options in your control panel. Please note that this is a webinar and your videos and mics will be inactive during the session. Any questions related to STMU, please put up in the Q&A section that appears in your control panel. This session will be conducted by Dr. Pablo Ortiz and Ms. Kim Tam. Now, handing over to Pablo and Kim for STMU's presentation.
Thank you, Dachita, and hi everyone, and welcome to our new normal, right? So this is a new normal to do business and to reach out to our network of agents, and I'm so glad that you all can join us today. I'd just like to welcome you from St. Mary's University, and I'm going to share with you a little bit of what St. Mary's is. And as Dakshita mentioned, the presentation is going to be mainly done by our Recruitment and Community Engagement Officer, Kim Tam. She will be able to inform you about our programs and about the exciting things we're doing at the university, especially for our international students in this session. So I'm going to share with you the video that we have prepared for you to see a little bit of what St. Mary's is. And I'm going to go ahead and show the video.
All right.
St. Mary's University, a school founded in the Catholic intellectual tradition, open to all, welcoming international students from around the world.
St. Mary's University is very diverse. We have students and faculty from different countries.
Canada is a mosaic, and St. Mary's is really in line with that.
A beautiful campus overlooking one of the largest urban parks in North America.
We do have Fish Creek Park. It's really beautiful, especially in the summer.
With degree programs that can lead to careers in business, law, science, medicine, and teaching.
St. Mary's can really personalize their application process. We have the academic advisors that you can always touch base with to talk about your needs, your concerns. Know that there are people here who are willing to help.
St. Mary's makes its home in Calgary, Canada, a modern, clean, safe city of 1.5 million people. An ethnically diverse city that celebrates many cultures.
Whatever you are looking for in terms of culture, Calgary is very, very diverse, and you'll be
Kim, did I lose you?
St. Mary's University, a school founded in the Catholic intellectual tradition, open to all, welcoming international students from around the world.
St. Mary's University is very diverse. We have students and faculty from different countries.
Canada is a mosaic, and St. Mary's is really in line with that.
A beautiful campus overlooking one of the largest urban parks in North America.
We do have Fish Creek Park. It's really beautiful, especially in the summer.
With degree programs that can lead to careers in business, law, science, medicine, and teaching.
St. Mary's can really personalize their application process. We have the academic advisors that you can always touch base with to talk about your needs, your concerns. Know that there are people here who are willing to help.
St. Mary's makes its home in Calgary, Canada, a modern, clean, safe city of 1.5 million people. An ethnically diverse city that celebrates many cultures.
Whatever you are looking for in terms of culture, Calgary is very, very diverse, and you'll be able to find a community that you'll fit in with.
I think for me, the benefit has been learning about other cultures.
A city surrounded by natural beauty and spectacular outdoor adventure.
If you really love the mountains, you get to do lots of hiking, skiing. The average class size is about 20 to 25, depending on what you're taking. You're going to have lots of engagement, not only with your professor, but also with your classmates.
It makes it very easy for students to feel at home. It's really a community and a family.
A welcoming university experience like no other. St. Mary's, discover your passion, define your success. Visit our website at www.stmu.ca.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Kim. I am the Recruitment and Community Engagement Officer for St. Mary's University. I meet with prospective students and I take them around campus to show them our beautiful university, as well as I answer any questions related to admission requirements, programs, courses, financial aid, all of those things. I'm able to help any students who are wondering about those questions. So I'm going to be starting with my presentation here. Give me 1 second. And all right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Canada first. It's a really big, beautiful country. It is the second largest country in the world. Our population is very low, though. We've got approximately 37 million people for our whole country. We have a really beautiful landscape, as you can see from these photos. They're fit for both winter and summer activities. Canadians are really known for being kind, polite, and helpful. We really encourage multiculturalism in Canada, and we recognize the value and dignity of all races and ethnic groups, all languages, all religions. So if you're really missing a piece of home when you're in Canada, you'll definitely be able to find it when you're here. A fun fact is, if you've ever listened to Drake or Justin Bieber, they are Canadians. And contrary to popular belief, unfortunately, we don't live in igloos and we don't ride polar bears to work. But if you ever wanted to see those things, you can actually definitely see them probably northern Canada. Now, a little bit about Alberta. So Alberta is the province that Calgary is located inside. It is home to the beautiful Rocky Mountains that you can see here in some of these photos. And it's the site of our ever famous Lake Louise, which is pictured in the top right. It is a very huge tourist destination. So if you're looking to see really beautiful waters that you can actually go and kayak on, that is Lake Louise. You can also go hiking during the summer. There's lots of opportunities for that. So you can see in the bottom left corner, there is the wolf-shaped Peyto Lake. That's just one of our many beautiful hikes that we have in Canada and within Alberta. There's also lots of opportunities for skiing or snowboarding. There is many resorts nearby Calgary, so that's an opportunity that you have as well. Or if you really want, you can take a road trip and visit North America's biggest mall in Edmonton, which I have put a picture of in the top right. Now we do get a fair share of snow, so it can be a little bit cold in Alberta, but we do frequently get what are called Chinook winds, and they're very warm winds that will melt snow away quickly. So if you don't really like the cold as much, don't worry, it'll be gone really, really quick. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Calgary. So I'm just trying to change the slide here. And it is not changing. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I was having issues getting to the next slide there. Now, Calgary. So Calgary is home to approximately 1.3 million people. So we are a little bit on the smaller side, but we have been voted as the most livable city in North America several times. Recently, we've been voted as 4th most livable city in the whole wide world, which means we're even beating out Toronto and Vancouver. So it's really, really great to live in Calgary. Now, Calgary is a mountain high city, so the climate can be quite dry here, but temperatures are very mild, especially when you compare it to most of Canada. And even when it's cold, it's usually sunny. In fact, Calgary gets an average of 2,300 hours of sun every year. So it makes it the sunniest major city in our entire country, but the Calgary weather can be a little bit unpredictable. Now you'll find that Calgary is really clean, very safe. We have a low population density, but we have a really high quality of life. And housing is very, very abundant. So students don't need to worry about being able to find a place to live. Now, the reasonable cost of living in Calgary can be a really pleasant surprise for lots of people as well. Now, we have a really low sales tax. We don't even have a provincial tax, so it's a lot better when you compare 5% to 12% in another province, for example, on tax that you're paying. So students can save money while they're studying here as well. Now, if you're looking for things to do in our city, we've got lots of things from the high culture class of theater and art shows and galleries, or maybe you really want to see a hockey game, you can come visit our Calgary Flames in our Saddle Dome Arena. And we are also home to the Calgary Stampede. So for 10 days every year during the summer, it is a very big carnival, lots of games, lots of food, lots of rides, music acts that are for free, and you can really get a taste of Calgary culture. So we have chuck wagon races and horseback rides. So lots of things to do within our city if you are looking for some fun out there. Sorry, now I'm just trying to switch the slide and it's not switching still, but give me 1 second here. Okay. Sorry, I'm having a really hard time switching slide without having to go out. Maybe I will just switch out and switch the slide here next. I'm so sorry about this. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about St. Mary's University. So we are a small arts and sciences university in the south end of Calgary. We're right next to a really beautiful park called Fish Creek Park. It is the second largest urban park in North America. We often get deer and bobcats roaming around our campus. I think one time we had a cougar, we've had owls, so lots of beautiful wildlife. Now, hearing our name, St. Mary's, yes, we are a Catholic university, but we're not a Bible college. We are founded on the Catholic intellectual tradition, which means we want to educate students on becoming thoughtful members of society, and we are open to all. You absolutely do not have to be Catholic. We don't have programs focused on becoming a minister or anything like that, but we do offer several religious studies courses if that is something that you are interested in. Now, this is an aerial view of our entire campus. So as you can see, it is smaller than maybe some of the other campuses you may have seen. St. Mary's has approximately 1,100 students this year. So we're one of the smaller ones in Calgary. And if you have ever heard of University of Calgary, which is the largest university, to compare for size, we have 1,000, they've got about 30,000. So we're much, much smaller than them. And as a result, we have a very close-knit campus community. So what that means is not only do you get to know your professors really well so that you can get lots of one-on-one help with them, you're also going to be able to get to know your classmates really well and participate in class on a scale that you may not necessarily be able to with a very large lecture hall of 300 students. So coming to a smaller campus, that means you really get to build relationships with the people around you, which can really lead to great references for getting into graduate schools or professional programs like medicine or law programs, because they can really write good, oh, sorry, it's a little funny here. They can really write good reference letters for you. I'm getting a message that I'm frozen right now, but I'm just gonna make sure that I'm not still frozen. Okay, great. Sorry, it went out there. All right, so yeah, as you heard from the video, our average class size is about 20 to 25. Our maximum class size is 40, so it's probably a little similar to what you guys have in school. And if you really don't know how this university thing works, we have lots of great staff on campus in addition to our faculty. They know everyone by name and they're really willing to help out. So no worries if you are new to post-secondary and you need a lot of help. Now, sorry, it's really not switching to the next slide every time. Now, the programs at St. Mary's that we have, so we have a variety of programs in the arts and sciences. So for our Bachelor of Arts, we have General Studies, Liberal Studies, which is an interdisciplinary program, and you pick a concentration, one of 13, that you can study from. So for example, business and management or philosophy, sociology, it's up to your decision. And it's really great for those who want to examine one problem, but from multiple standpoints to see how it can really address those issues. We also have a really great English program, history program, psychology program, and a new one that we started just recently called Social Justice and Catholic Studies. This is really great if you are looking to work in human rights, social services, those kinds of things. We also have a Bachelor of Science in Biology. This is really, really great for those who are interested in working in medicine, pharmacy, all of those kind of science and health science programs because of our proximity to Fish Creek Park. And that's great because that means students get to go out there and do their labs, wet labs, collect data and specimens. Sometimes they get to help professors as research assistants with collecting any information or data out there in the park. We also have our Bachelor of Education. So it is an after degree. So what that means is you need to have your first degree, which you can also do with us at St. Mary's. And you would do the first 3 or 4 years with us and then 2 years for your education. We have an elementary program and are just starting our secondary program if you want to teach junior high or high school. Now, for our arts and our science programs, there is a variety of options of 3-year or 4-year options. The General Studies is a 3-year program, Liberal Studies 4-year. Now, English and History, there's 3 or 4 years, same with Psychology, and the Social Justice one is a 4-year program. The Biology program is also 4 years, and as I mentioned, the Education program is an after degree. We also have transfer options, so if you would like to start your first year with us and then transfer to another university because maybe they offer a degree that we don't have, then you can also do that as well. And if you don't know what you want to study, we also have open studies available for those students. Now, all of our programs focus a lot on the transferable skills that you're going to get and moving forward into your career path. So employers in Canada are looking for communication skills, critical thinking skills, research skills, teamwork, and adaptability. And I want to say that's maybe not just Canada, it's probably worldwide that employers are looking for those skills, and they are finding them as graduates of St. Mary's. So even if you are here to study biology, we encourage students to take subjects in a variety of things. So whether that be philosophy, you're taking some ethics class, some English, some history. Our students come out very well-rounded and very strong in these soft skills that carry throughout their career. And on to the next slide here, which is, okay, there we go. Nope. Sorry, give me 1 second, everyone. I'm having technical issues today. So this is our athletics that I'm going to talk about. So part of your experience at St. Mary's is not only academics, you also want to be involved in extracurriculars. This is very, very important so that not only can you build experience for your resume, you're also building your network and the connections you have on campus. So it's very, very important that students become involved, and there's lots of things for you to become involved in. We cater to a variety of interests. So if you really want to participate in athletics, we compete on a national level in cross-country running, track, as well as basketball, men's and women's. Our women's program actually won, I believe, bronze last year and silver in the last 2 years as well. They also have a men's program, which is really, really fantastic as well. And we are always searching for very strong basketball players. We also have a fitness center, which the fees are included in your tuition. So if you want to work out before or after classes or in between, we also have campus recreation. So if you want to join group fitness classes like yoga, high intensity workout classes, they're usually pretty small and relatively cheap as well. So I think it's between 4 to 8 people. So it's a very intimate setting that you can have your fitness goals fulfilled at. We also have lots of clubs on campus if you're looking to meet new students, explore a new hobby, or maybe you're looking for support academically. We have all types of clubs. So for example, the board games club, or a very active Dungeons and Dragons club if you love to role play, or maybe the academics that I talked about, like the Literary Guild. They publish short stories, plays, digital art that is all written by students. And again, those are valuable things that can go on your resume. I don't know many people who are at the age of 22 and have a published book. So again, really awesome opportunities available at St. Mary's. We also have a very strong social justice background at St. Mary's, and that's reflected in our volunteerism. So over 50% of our students volunteer, whether that be on campus or off campus. If you're looking to volunteer on campus, we have Students for Social Justice Club, and they were so passionate about reducing plastic waste on campus that they fundraised, and we now do not sell any bottled water on campus. They have these beautiful refilling water stations, and they're very quick, very fast, and very easy, and we're helping to do our part to be more environmentally friendly and sustainable on campus. We also have the President's Volunteer Team. So again, networks and connections. Once a month, you go with the president of our university to volunteer with local charities. Again, I don't know of many universities where you get to interact on such an intimate level with the president, who has a very busy schedule, but he's always making time to chat with students and build that relationship with them. So Next, we're going to talk about some of the supports that we have on campus. And so we have Indigenous Initiatives. So we often invite elders on campus to share their wisdom and their knowledge of the land with us. We also have peer mentors. So for Indigenous students, they can be mentored by an elder Indigenous student. We also have Voices series where, again, we invite elders and knowledge keepers on campus. And these are series that are open to the public so that they can also participate as well. And you don't have to be Indigenous if you are looking to just learn. We're open to everyone to come and join these sessions. We also have a very beautiful special graduation ceremony for our Métis students as well. And so this is all part of St. Mary's effort for reconciliation with our land and our beautiful neighbors and the land that we're on. Now, we do have some beautiful travel study courses, which Pablo has worked very hard on, Dr. Pablo Ortiz here in this webinar with me. So if you are looking to study marine biology at Bamfield Marine Science Center in Vancouver Island, it is so beautiful, and I think they get to go on really cool trips out to kind of tidal pools or the ocean on the Vancouver Island side. You can also go to Belize in South America if you want to study tropical ecology. So really great for those looking for practical applications of science skills. If you want to go to Italy, they study, I believe, art and history there. So they go to Rome, Florence, and Assisi. Or maybe you want to study some contemporary Mediterranean cultures in France and Morocco. We also have lots of placements for student study abroad placements in countries like Germany, Taiwan, Ukraine, Australia, or if you're looking to apply for an internship to get some experience, we have the Alberta Smithsonian internship where you can go to the Smithsonian, any one of their museums in the States, to do an internship there, or with the Washington Center in Washington, D.C., you can also do an internship there as well. So lots of opportunities for more international placements and experience. And now we're going to go talk about CLASS, which is, it stands for the Center for Learning, Access, and Student Success. And they provide many, many student supports on campus. So one of them is peer mentors. So they are students who have done particularly well in a subject, and they are paid by the university to mentor students for free in those subjects. Now, if you are one of those students who did really well, that could be a job opportunity for you on campus. We also have writing labs. So under the direction of an English professor, we can help you draft essays, help you with your editing, all of those things related to writing and those essays. We also have what are called success strategy seminars. They're 45-minute seminars on various topics, ranging from academic to career wellness or mental health. If you complete enough of them, it goes on your co-curricular record, which is a record of all your activities on campus that are above and beyond. And so again, really good things to put on your resume to show employers that you are engaged and that you are a go-getter and want to try and learn all of these different things. We also have academic accommodations. So if you have any mental health issues that need to be addressed, we can definitely help with that. Maybe you need extra writing time, or maybe you need specific tools in order to study or write in class. We have a beautiful academic accommodations coordinator who will sit down with students, listen to the things that they need, and kind of draft up a plan to help make sure that they are successful in their classes. So that is CLASS, our Center for Learning, Access, and Student Success. Now, for admissions, so I'm speaking specifically to international admissions. If you are looking to start in September, Our application deadline is June 1st. Pablo, I'm not sure if you can chime in here. I'm not sure if that was pushed because of COVID, but on the regular basis, it is June 1st. If you're looking to start in January, the application deadline is generally October 31st, sorry. Now, international students will be considered case by case, and there are several steps you need to have ready in order to apply. So following the link that you can see there, it's apply.stmu.ca. That is where you can go in order to apply online. I believe that is a typo on our website. So I think it is a non-refundable $275 Canadian international student application fee. This year, for specific to pandemic issues, I believe we are going to be crediting the $275 application fee back to international students as a tuition because of all of the things that are going on. So yeah, unfortunately, we can't completely waive it, but it will be credited back. You also will need to present English language proficiency results, which I'll talk about in a second. And in addition, you'll need to provide transcripts for any previous education that you have completed, whether it be post-secondary or your secondary education. And generally, it will need to be assessed by some sort of organization. The ones that we recommend are called IQAS, International Qualification Assessment Service, and the International Education Standard is what they do. So Pablo is telling me that for this upcoming fall, is that correct? We do not have any IQAS requirements.
And actually, we're doing our in-house assessment now.
Okay.
So our admissions team are actually assessing all the transcripts that are already in English. So they don't have to go through the IQAS process anymore. And we implemented that just last year, that we were going to be doing in-house assessment. So you don't have to go to the IQAS, because I know it takes at least 16 weeks to get that assessment through IQAS. So the turnaround for us, it's easier and it's faster for sure to do it in-house.
Okay, perfect. Yes. All right, so there you go. You've heard from Pablo. So we are doing in-house assessments if they are already in English. So if they are in another language, then you will need to have them translated. And all right, let's move on here. Sorry, again, I am having issues. So I'm going to talk really quickly about our English language proficiency. So these are the test results, the tests on the left. So a variety of TOEFL tests, IELTS, ME Lab, PTE, or CLB. So these are the various scores that you can use, the minimum that you will need in order to be admissible to our programs. As you can see, for the Bachelor of Education, it is a little more stringent, and that is because you will be expected to be teaching and in English, in the written language and the oral language of English. So those are a little more stringent than our BA, BSc programs. Let me know if you have any questions about these tests. I know that a lot of people are having issues finding a seat for some of these tests right now. So now,
Kim,
in terms of
should we mention now that due to COVID, what we're doing now, as many other universities are doing, is we are accepting now, due to COVID, the Duolingo English test as a proficiency test, right? So the Duolingo test is a very particular test. Students can do it online. The results are automatic. You can request Duolingo when you finish your exam to share those results right away with the university you're applying to. So it's a very easy way to get the proficiency test right away. And I think the Duolingo test is around $49, I think, US. So it's even cheaper than the IELTS and the TOEFL.
Thank you, Pablo.
So, yep.
Perfect. I'm going to just touch base really quickly about finances in terms of what you can expect. So You might be getting support from your family, or maybe working summer jobs or working part-time. There's definitely loans available. Now, I'm not too sure about international loans, how that works, but you can definitely, if you're a student, you can touch base with your agent. And if you're an agent, I'm sure you guys have an idea already, or grants as well. Now, we do have scholarships. So scholarships for international students, you'll have to we have a lot on our list, so you'll have to take a look and see which ones are eligible for yourself specifically. But we do open scholarships every single year to any admitted students, even if they haven't started yet. And so I just wanted to mention that really briefly. This year we did have to push our scholarship deadline, so if students do get registered before then, I believe the deadline, I think, is June 1st or June 30th this year sometime. But again, it's on our website right under the scholarships and student aid tab. So just something I wanted to mention very briefly. And then the last thing is we do have a virtual open house coming up today, actually, just later in the day for myself. So it is Calgary time, so a Mountain Standard Time, 1 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. It's going to be live. We have our professors who have volunteered to conduct our open house. So they're going to be chatting directly with anyone who is in our session. So you can type your questions and ask really specifically. So if you're wondering about research opportunities, potential career pathways specific to their program, or if you're wondering about the Capstone project, it's kind of like the research project that our seniors do, then you can please join our open house. We would love to have you there. If you just follow the link that's on the bottom right there, then you'll please take down this email. It is visit us at stmu.ca. So you can send this and it'll go directly to myself. So please send me any questions you have. I am happy to speak specifically to your special circumstances. So that is all for me. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to my presentation today. And I'm very, very sorry for my technical issues.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Pablo. So here are a few questions from our partner agents, and I will start one by one. Okay, so I'm reading few questions. So Pablo, before we go for all the questions, this is what I've seen, like the consistency of similar questions coming up. Would you like to update something on the COVID-19 situation, and how is St. Mary's University dealing with the applications at the moment, and what are the things that we're doing for the international applicants?
So we're still receiving applications from international students. As the applications are open still, as Kim mentioned, the international application fee, we're going to credit it towards tuition due to the uncertainty of when travel bans are going to be lifted and closures, right, of borders. So we are doing that. We are trying to keep our parents and our agents engaged, and we want to give back a little bit on that. So we're crediting the application fee as a tuition, so they don't get discouraged to apply. Another alternative we're doing is, as I mentioned, we're accepting the Duolingo English test, and it's a very easy test that students can complete on their computer, and it's a very affordable test. So we're accepting that test due to COVID. As I mentioned, many of the testing centers for IELTS and TOEFL are closed. So these will give the chance to students that are just in the steps of applying to get that proficiency test right away. Actually, we're offering conditional acceptance to students as well. For students, especially undergrad students, not for our BEd program, but for undergrad students, We are considering taking the grade 11 scores. Based on these evaluations, we can proceed to offer conditional acceptance letters to qualified students as well. We are already accepting applications for 2021 intakes as well. There are a lot of students that have to write their proficiency exams, final exams, grade 12 exams. So we are already taking 2021 intakes or students applying for the 2021 intake for sure. We're still wondering and we're still preparing and expecting pretty soon some of the directives that our Canadian government are going to have for us in terms of opening schools or going completely online. So we're still working on preparing the fall semester, either for a delivery for a full delivery online, or to have the face-to-face again. But this will depend on our authorities, health authorities, and we're just waiting to hear from them so we can actually put together in motion one of the plans we already have, right? Which is either face-to-face, online, or a hybrid delivery, right? Depending on that, I think we will see students applying for the fall semester, but also students that might want to push their admission for January 2021, right? And start their first year of studies in January 2021, which is possible, So I think those are the measures we are taking now. As I mentioned, we're waiting from our health officials to really give us the directives of how the fall is going to look like, but we're preparing for 3 different scenarios: face-to-face, online delivery, or a hybrid delivery. I know that it's very difficult right now in terms of applications because it's uncertain if the immigration officials at the embassies or at the visa centers will even issue study permits, right? And that will all depend for sure in the directives of our health officials and what the federal government is contemplating for the next few weeks.
Okay, thank you so much. So now there is a question that how much amount will be deducted in case of withdrawal of a student if the student is not able to fly? Let's say a student has processed the application and is all ready to be there for September intake. So, but unfortunately, the student is not able to fly because of the current situation or because of the uncertain situation, be it September, be it January. So, what is our refund policy in that case?
We will just refund complete the full fee to the student because it's out of our hands, right? So out of our control. So we will do the refund to the student.
Okay. So any update on the online classes, Pablo, that we're going to start with for September or for January? Online classes?
So we're planning for online delivery. We're already doing delivery of online classes for spring and summer semesters. That's fully online, but because of the uncertainty of COVID and we're just waiting to hear from the federal government, we are preparing for, as I mentioned, 3 scenarios. If it's online delivery, I know it's going to be a difficult situation for international students because the students who were granted already study permits but cannot fly to Canada, they can start their online classes for sure, right? And the federal government will be counting that time of online delivery towards their post-graduation work permit, right? So the federal government has very specific guidelines now for international students that if they start their studies completely online, they can do 50% of that online and then 50% face-to-face, right? In order to be eligible to apply for the post-graduation work permit, which is great, right?
Yes, definitely. So Pablo, what would you suggest? I mean, those students, those who have not got the study permit can also enroll for this particular scheme?
For online delivery?
Yes.
Yes, they can actually do that, but it's going to be a challenge for the time difference for sure. They have to take in consideration that we have students that a couple students that were in Australia doing an exchange program over there. They had to come back to Canada. So those students are actually taking their classes in the middle of the night here in Canada, right? Because Australian universities are going online too. So that's going to be a challenge. They have to know that it's going to be a challenge to take classes in the middle of the night, but that's a possibility for them, right? So if they already are accepted to St. Mary's University, they will be able to take the classes online.
Okay, that's great. Anything that we can do related to like scholarships or some student grant or I mean for the international student?
There are very limited scholarships for international students, not only at St. Mary's University, but in Canada, right? But also we do have, and I'm gonna tell you the name of that. We do have a student bursary, which is an emergency bursary for students, international students, that it's open not only to Canadian students, but also for international students. So it's open to all students at the university, and it's an emergency bursary. And I can share with you the link for that, and then you can just pass it around your agents.
Okay, for sure. And you can also let us know about the $275 application fee that will be waived off once the student reaches the campus.
Yes, that's very easy. The $275 fee will be credited as part of their tuition. So it's easy, right? And remember that the $270 fee, it's good up until students who apply for admission for the fall. Once the students decide to apply for the winter, right? So we drop that fee to $175.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
the $175 fee will have effect or will start taking effect in September 1st. Every application that we receive after September 1st is going to be a $175 fee, right?
Okay. Yeah. So are there any co-op opportunities available with the programs that we have mentioned?
We don't have co-op programs, right? I think Kim will talk a little bit about that, but we don't have per se co-op programs, but we do have opportunities for internships. Kim, do you want to mention something?
Yeah, so there's various opportunities to be involved. Unfortunately, it's not a co-op specifically. All of our four-year degrees do have a capstone research project. It's 1 year long and it's specifically tailored to a student's interests. So they're able to gain really good experience. For example, if you want to work with a specific organization, so that way they can really follow their career interests and work really closely with said organization on their capstone project. There's also the two internships that I mentioned earlier. So there is the Alberta Smithsonian internship as well as the Washington Center internship, which you can, Pablo, I think, has had experience helping students apply for them successfully. And so, for example, like the Alberta Smithsonian one, I think is only 10 spots available. So it's really, really amazing that our students got to go on that.
And this is an internship that usually runs through the summer. It's an 8-week internship, right? And it'll give students around $6,000 just to for them to manage the cost of traveling to Washington, right, and to take part on this internship. But they give them $6,000, which for 8 weeks I think is great, and will help them to live in Washington, to find a place to live, and accommodations and meals and transportation for sure.
Okay, so continuing with the same questions, what kind of companies come for placements? Like, do we have any contract with some companies that do recruit our students?
Because it's not a co-op program, we're not working with companies per se, we're working with organizations, right? And either it's in the public sector or the private sector, but these organizations work with us and provide students, depending on when they are in their programs. If it's a capstone project, right, it's around 120-hour internship usually, or 120-hour project, right, for the capstone. But also we have a couple courses that require students to have a 35 or 45-hour volunteering element into their program, right? And they go and work for those organizations. The good thing about that, because they're not paid internships or paid sessions, the good thing about that some of the students have gotten jobs right after they complete the volunteering hours. The organizations have been really happy with them. They see the skills they bring to the table, and they offer them jobs right away for the summer, right? So that's a little bit of an incentive for students, that these opportunities will open up jobs opportunities for them.
Oh, great. So now coming on to our two questions. So this particular question has got two parts. One part is that do we accept conditional acceptance? Like if the student is still giving their exams, like 8th semester exams, or you can say grade 12 exams, and on the basis of predicted scores, can we provide them a conditional offer letter? The second part is, what is the turnaround time for the offer letter?
Yes, we offer, as I mentioned, the students that are still completing their exams for grade 12, we can accept the grade 11 scores, right? And basically, once we get all those documents in for our admissions officers to review, we can give the student the conditional letter in a week. One week.
Oh, that's great. We just take a week to give you the offer letters. That's one of the best points that we have at SCMU within 1 week.
And the most important thing for this is to have all the documents
do you
ready.
give admissions without language course for online classes?
Could you repeat that question, Dakshita?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So the next, it's, do you give admissions without language course for online classes?
Without language course? What do you mean?
Let's say if the student has not done. So
they need
let's say the student has not done the IELTS or Duolingo, nothing.
We need for any student to start with us, we need to have the English proficiency for admission, right? Right at the admission, the student needs to provide the English proficiency exam.
So I
whether
think
it's
there is some network issue.
I can't hear you, Dakshita. You're cutting off. Dakshita, could you repeat what you just mentioned? Because you were cutting off.
Oh, I think she
So
disappeared.
sorry, everyone. I think that we're facing some network issues today. It's just like, today. Yeah. So I was just mentioning, Pablo, that I'm.
So I think she was mentioning, Kim, about admissions without the English proficiency, right?
Sorry, my microphone is muted. Yes, I think Dakshita was asking if students can be admissible into an online course without being without having completed their English language proficiency results.
we will need the English proficiency results. That's why we're giving them the opportunity to complete the Duolingo exam, because the Duolingo exam will give them the scores right away. It's an automatic exam, right? They have to spend 2 hours in front of the computer for sure, but they can have results right away. So I think that's why we've been flexible, right, to accept Duolingo right now, specifically because of COVID. So it's a good opportunity for them to apply and not wait to complete their IELTS or their TOEFL, right?
Am I audible now? Am I audible?
Oh, you're back on.
Yes.
You're back on.
Kind of.
She's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to all the attendees that I'm having issues with the internet today. So yes, Pablo, the next question I wanted to ask about African agents from Africa also. So I wanted to know that do they also require English proficiency to pass English proficiency? Africa,
They do.
students from Africa.
They do.
Okay, okay, yeah, okay. That was our major question, and I think most of the questions are being answered by Shaina, and we have discussed all the trending questions at the moment. If if anyone has missed anything, then we do have our round 2 coming up. So Pablo and Kim, would you like to say something before signing off to our partner agents?
I
Yeah.
let Kim to say her words, and then I'll say mine.
Sure. Thank you guys so much for coming out, or not coming out, I guess, but for attending this session. I really appreciate your time and for listening. I really hope you consider St. Mary's. It is a very beautiful campus, very, very kind people, and I really like the culture around here. I think it's really great. So yeah, definitely keep St. Mary's in mind.
And just echoing Kim's words, we are happy to for you to connect with us today. I know that there must be tons of questions that needed to be responded, but we'll have session 2 tomorrow, and you can log in probably for session 2 as well. Send your questions; we'll be able to answer them as well. If you need some specific details, we'll be happy to address those for sure. And MSM is doing a great job with us, and they have tons of information for you that they already prepare in terms of preparing the students for admissions and for applications for sure. And please make sure that you work with them and provide them with all the requirements that they need for students to be successful applicants. Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo and Kim. I hope you enjoyed our exclusive webinar of STMU. We hope this session was informative and you took some learning out of this session. Our second round of webinar will be conducted tomorrow, which is 14th of May, so do not forget to tune in. Thanking all our education agents for participating with us in this exclusive MSM Live E-Summit of STMU. I'm so sorry, Pablo. There was just a line just to say goodbye to
And
everyone.
don't forget to connect to open house today at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
Alberta time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Bye bye.
The open house will be very, very helpful for all your students. So see you there at the open house and then tomorrow in our second round of webinar.
Perfect. Thank you so
you.
much.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.